Viv, thanks indeed for talking to us. What's driving markets today? I believe that China did release some economic data that was encouraging. Is it just that?
China and Japan as well. So we are seeing quite a nice recovery coming from the east. Both those countries seem to have gotten to the COVID virus situation in a better situation, in a bit better circumstances, a bit better, condition than what we've seen in places like Europe and North America. And I think that is obviously coming through with some of these economic numbers. So we know China had the first outbreak, but compared to the size of the population, it has been tiny compared to what we are seeing in places like, Japan, also like Germany or North America. And at the same time, it managed to cut down its spread really quickly. And I think that's also, really translating to its spectacular recovery. To give you an idea just how strong China is going to be, by the end of 2021, China will be significantly larger, maybe as much as 10% larger than it was at the start of 2020. To compare that to South Africa is going to be at the same size it was at the start of 2020, maybe somewhere in the year 2025. And so we are seeing quite a big differential in terms of what the growth rates are looking at post-COVID in China, definitely. Japan has come out of its recession, but its growth is going to be significantly slower than the Chinese, obviously.
That encouraging news from China, is that part of the reason why we see the likes of Northam Platinum, Impala Platinum, closing between 12 and 13% up? I mean, China's doing well. It might buy some of the commodities here. Is that behind that, or is there something else behind this very good platinum showing?
I think that's also an effect that from the end of last week. So, for instance, looking at Amplats or looking at Northam, even Amplats, not as high as the others, but still a nice little move for the day. And you compare them to when last they hit these levels, and it weren't that far back. You're talking about a week or two back. That's how far you have to go before you see them at similar levels as they are today. I think you had a bit of a pullback at the end of last week, and I think there's a bit of a recovery from that at the moment.
Yeah. What do you make of Vodacom's results? I mean, look, it's got a dividend that's looking quite healthy. Data surging during the lockdown, and that's the reason why it had its good showing. What's your take on the results?
Well, the market didn't seem to like it. The share price was down substantially in the day, 3-4%. I do think that, obviously data surged, but obviously there was a bit of a cut in, pricing as well, around the COVID situation, which, had to be done. People needed the data, and obviously prices came down a little bit. I do think, however, that looking at the telecoms providers out there, we're getting pretty close to a point right now where telecommunications is becoming commodified. Pretty much every network out there gives you a similar kind of, coverage unless you live out, quite away from the lucrative city centers. And in terms of, the total amount of data people use, I think at this point in time, once you get to about maybe 1,000 rounds it's spent for fixed home and maybe a couple thousand for, mobile data, you have more than enough that you'll ever need. You can be streaming as high quality data, high quality video as you want to pretty much all the time, and you're never going to run out of data. And I think that is something that these companies have to be basically take into consideration. They're coming to a point now where they have to find other sources of revenue because, the cost structure behind data, like voice as well, has come down so dramatically that, it can't be a driver for revenue going forward.
And just very quickly, I mean, another share that the market didn't seem to like today was ShopRite, despite them releasing an update saying that they gained market share. What do you make of that?
Well, okay, of course, ShopRite is a huge link up to the economy of South Africa, and also, I mean, they also are going through a bit of a management or at least board level, restructuring there with Mr. Visa having to leave and the associated trouble around Steinhoff, etc. Look, I do think that ShopRite has had a couple of setbacks recently with regards to its operations in Africa, having to pull out of Nigeria. I do think the South African market is under a great deal of pressure at the moment. And that is, I think, something obviously, putting down what I think is it's one thing to have market share, let me say, but you prefer to have shrinking market share in a fast-growing economy as opposed to having growing market share in a shrinking economy.
All right, we'll leave it there. Viv Govender from Rand Swiss, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.